Personal pronouns are another important element of writing, and by focusing on using pronouns correctly, it will make your business writing more professional. There are 5 types of pronouns: first person pronouns, second and third person pronouns, reflexive pronouns, possessive pronouns, and relative pronouns. A pronoun is a word used instead of a noun. It can be used to avoid repeating yourself once the subject is known. Example: John picked up Jane from Jane's house. Instead, you can also say, John picked up Jane from her house. The pronoun her replaces the noun Jane. First person pronouns include me, I, and we. These pronouns refer to yourself or a first party personally and can only replace your name. Example: I am writing a letter. The pronoun I stands for my name. Second and third person pronouns include you, he, she, they. These pronouns replace the name of a third party or someone you are talking about. It can refer to one person or a few people. Example: they have just arrived. The pronoun they refers to a third party. Reflexive pronouns refer to myself, yourself, himself, themselves, ourselves. These pronouns highlight or reflect a pronoun or a noun already used. Example: I did all the work myself. The pronoun myself refers to the pronoun I, which was used earlier in the same sentence. Possessive pronouns include mine, yours, them, their, hers, his, him, us, etc. These pronouns show possession or ownership. Example: this book belongs to him. The pronoun him refers to a particular person who has ownership of the book. Relative pronouns include that, who, whose, whom, and which. These pronouns replace a noun and are used to join two sentences. Example: the man is wearing a black coat. The man is driving fast. Now we use a relative pronoun to combine the two sentences. The man who is wearing a black coat is driving fast. The relative pronoun who replaces the man and is used to join the two sentences. There are grammatical errors that are made with the use of pronouns in sentences. Unclear pronoun references make sentences confusing, vague, and difficult to understand. The first error is the pronoun agreement error. Let's look at this sentence. If an employee parks a car on site, they have to sign the register. If the subject of the sentence is singular, in this case an employee, so the pronoun referring must also be singular. In this sentence it isn't. It is using a they. The correct sentence would be: if an employee parks a car on site, he or she has to sign the register. In other words, the he, she is a singular pronoun because the subject of the sentence is also singular. Where possible, avoid gender-specific pronouns. The use of masculine third-person pronouns like he, him, his, himself as generic pronouns is no longer acceptable in business communication. Rather use compound pronouns like he or she, or using the s/he. The next pronoun error or problem in business communication is vague pronoun reference. A vague pronoun reference includes words such as it, that, this, and which, and can leave the reader wondering what or whom the pronoun refers. Example, you should hear him bark. We can immediately ask the question, who does that refer to? Can we assume it is his dog? When you fail to confirm that a pronoun has a single clear antecedent, you lose control of the picture you want the words to create in your reader's minds. Then you have pronoun confusion. Pronoun confusion is common when a sentence contains two or more antecedents with the same gender. As the example on the screen, Edwin told Sean that Professor Smith suspected that he cheated in the assessment. We are now not sure whether we are referring to Edward or Sean, or maybe even Professor Smith. A correct sentence would be, Edwin told Sean that Professor Smith suspected that Sean cheated in his assessment. Don't use the word they when referring to unspecified persons. If we look at the sentence example, they will consider the recommendations in the report. The pronoun is they. The antecedent is unknown, and it is an unclear pronoun reference. A more effective sentence would be, the sales team will consider the recommendations in the report. Avoid using the word you to refer to people in general rather than the specific person you are speaking to. Example, when you walk through the doors, you enter a large paneled library. A more effective sentence would be, the doors opened into a large paneled library. Avoid using the anonymous they to refer to aspects in a sentence. Let's look at the example. They should invent a more efficient car. If we replace the pronoun they with the car industry should invent a more efficient car, the sentence becomes much more clearer. This concludes our section on pronouns. Pronouns are important. They are useful in writing because they help make sentences smoother and clearer. Unclear pronoun references make sentences confusing, vague, and difficult to understand. Focus on pronouns when doing any business documentation.